Why are you so terrified of losing people? You cling to relationships, friendships, and the approval of others, as if your very survival depends on them. But Stoicism reveals a harsh, liberating truth. You do not own anyone. We treat people like permanent possessions, expecting them to never change, never leave, and always meet our expectations. When they inevitably act according to their own nature or walk away to pursue their own paths, you feel betrayed and broken. This desperate attachment is the root of your suffering. Epictetus taught that we must view the people in our lives as temporary gifts from the universe, not permanent entitlements. To build true emotional freedom, you must master the art of detachment. You must learn to walk alone without feeling lonely and to love without trying to control. The foundation of detachment is building your inner citadel, a fortress of the mind that remains completely unaffected by the unpredictable behavior of others. Right now, your emotional state is outsourced. If someone praises you, you feel powerful. If someone ignores you or rejects you, you are devastated. You have handed the remote control of your mind to people who are fighting their own internal battles. Stoicism demands radical emotional independence. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly that his peace of mind could not depend on the applause or the opinions of the crowd. You must stop twisting your personality and sacrificing your own boundaries just to keep someone else comfortable. When you finally realize that your core value is generated exclusively from within, the fear of rejection simply vanishes. You become immune to the chaos of human relationships. We must understand that people have their own destinies. Sometimes, someone you love will choose their own dream over you. They might walk away to build a different life in a different place, and you will be left standing there, feeling abandoned. Psychology calls this cognitive dissonance, when your expectation of forever violently clashes with the reality of their departure. But a Stoic knows that you cannot force someone to stay in your orbit if their journey leads elsewhere. To hate them for pursuing their goals is selfish. To let their absence destroy your focus is weak. You must accept their departure with absolute grace. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop trying to force reality to match your desires. You release them to their path, and in doing so, you clear the way for your own. Beyond romantic attachment, we chain ourselves to the opinions of the crowd. You spend hours agonizing over what your colleagues, your acquaintances, or even strangers think of your life choices. This is a psychological prison. The Stoic philosopher Seneca asked, "Why do you worry about the judgment of people you don't even respect?" You are constantly compromising your own character to seek validation from a society that is deeply confused and miserable. True detachment means looking in the mirror and being the sole judge of your own worth. When you stop acting like a background character in someone else's play, you reclaim the pen to write your own story. You must train your mind to become completely indifferent to their praise and immune to their insults. Your purpose on this earth is not to be liked. Your purpose is to be unbreakable. Every day, the undisciplined mind operates on the fatal assumption of permanence. You hold the people you love and silently believe they will be there forever. To master detachment, you must ruthlessly destroy this fantasy. You can integrate this mental hardening into your daily encounters. As you share a meal with a friend or embrace a partner, allow a cold, realistic thought to enter your mind. This person is mortal, and this interaction may be our last. By mentally anticipating their absence, you paradoxically learn to appreciate their presence without a desperate need to possess them. Furthermore, You can reduce emotional leakage by viewing social conflicts through objective observation. When someone attacks your character, refuse to absorb the emotional narrative. Stop seeing an enemy. Simply observe vibrations of air or pixels on a screen, the objective actions of a confused and irrational human animal. By stripping away your judgment, you render their actions utterly powerless over your inner citadel. The ultimate arena for practicing detachment is total solitude. We avoid being alone because we are afraid of the thoughts that arise when the noise of other people vanishes. But you must actively engineer periods of isolation to build your emotional calluses. Force yourself to disconnect from the digital hive mind. Take a long walk alone without headphones. Sit in a quiet room for an hour. Go to a restaurant or a movie by yourself and simply watch the undisciplined world around you. By consciously enduring voluntary solitude, you learn the profound Stoic truth that you are sufficient for your own well-being. This is not about becoming a hermit. It is about ensuring that your happiness is no longer dependent on a constant stream of external stimulation or companionship. You are forging an unbreakable spirit that can thrive in a room full of people or in total darkness with equal composure. You will inevitably encounter betrayal, deceit, and profound disappointment in others. The untrained mind reacts with explosive anger or crippling depression, feeling that a great injustice has occurred. But Stoicism relies on the dichotomy of control. You can strictly govern your own actions, but you have zero jurisdiction over the loyalties or morals of another human being. Marcus Aurelius prepared himself every morning to meet the ungrateful, the jealous, and the deceitful. When someone breaks your trust, they are simply acting according to their flawed nature. To expect bad people not to do bad things is foolishness. Detachment means observing their betrayal coldly, removing them from your life, and refusing to let their lack of integrity corrupt your own. You release the heavy, toxic burden of resentment because you realize their actions were never about you in the first place. A common misconception is that Stoic detachment makes you passive, forcing you to tolerate toxic behavior. In reality, it gives you the ultimate power, the ability to walk away without hesitation. When you are no longer addicted to someone's presence, you establish radical boundaries. If a relationship, whether it is a romantic partner, a demanding boss, or a draining friend, consistently disrespects your values, you do not argue, beg, or try to change them. You simply cut the cord. The Stoic does this not out of hatred, but out of a profound respect for their own time and energy. Your life is far too short to spend it in a war of attrition with people who drag you down. Detachment is the sharp sword you use to sever the dead weight, ensuring that your ship can continue to sail forward, unburdened by the chaos of others. But perhaps the most dangerous illusion is the belief that you need someone else to make you complete. You spend your energy searching for the right person to validate your existence, or you secretly wait for someone who walked away to realize your worth. Stoicism teaches us that a human being is not a fraction needing to be made whole. When you wait for external validation, you hand over the keys to your own peace of mind. Every moment you spend agonizing over a relationship that ended or hoping someone will return to save you from loneliness is a moment you betray your own strength. You must realize that you are already completely whole on your own. You do not need another person to provide you with a sense of security or purpose. When you finally stop treating people as missing pieces of a puzzle, you can interact with the world from a place of unshakable abundance rather than desperate scarcity. So, here is your final protocol. Stop outsourcing your happiness. Accept that you do not own the people in your life, They are independent travelers walking alongside you for a brief moment. When they choose a different destination, let them go completely. When they judge you, remain entirely indifferent. Retreat into your inner citadel and practice the silent art of voluntary solitude until you are no longer terrified of your own company. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Stop trying to control how others perceive you. Cut the anchors of expectation that are dragging you down. Reclaim your emotional autonomy and step forward into the quiet, unyielding power of detachment. The path is yours to build. Walk it alone if you must, but walk it with iron strength.